include a link to the recorded presentation as well. So I am going to quit talking here unless I miss something and turn this over to Field Application Engineer Extraordinaire, Paola. So take it away, Paola.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, Carter. You did a great intro. Well, welcome, guys, to my garage. I never thought that I would be doing something like this. So this is very interesting. Today's primary goal is going to be showing you the solutions kit. Just turned off. And it's back here. So I'm going to try my best with the webcam to show you the demo, the hardware, go over all of that, show you my setup as well. And then we'll go into some of the features that are in the solutions kit. And then we will go over the cloud offering that we have. So that's kind of the game plan. I was told very minimal PowerPoint slides, just because we want to recreate, kind of a sales call. We miss being in front of you. We miss that eye contact. We miss seeing your reactions and kind of gauging what you need. So I know that we have quite a bit of an audience with a lot of different backgrounds, a wide audience. And so I'm going to go over the solutions kit, explain as much as I can about everything. If I miss something or if I don't cover something that you're interested in, just please do ask a question in the chat box, and Carter can very nicely interrupt me, and we'll talk about it. So we really want this to be more a conversation, more of an experience for you. So with all of that being said, I'll go into the hardware. Hopefully you can see my screen. I took a screenshot of what's in here. This is kind of what you get when you buy a solutions kit. Now, our approach with the solutions kit is a solution, that it's plug and play, that it's easy, it's simple to install, and it's a check engine light, just like you get in your car every 3 months or whatever. Every certain mileage, you get a little engine light that says you got to go check your oil. So that's kind of what our approach has been. With the solutions kit, you get one part number. So this is what you get. This is an enclosure. It's done for you. It's wired up. All the hardware you need is included. And as you can see, the HMI is really nice. I don't know if you can see this very well. Put this here. Get me out of there. So you get the HMI that's already pre-programmed. It's laid out very nicely. You get these beautiful, I don't know if you can see it very well, but you get a nice graph and values and things like that. So with the HMI, this is about 9 or 11 inches wide. You also get a USB in here where you can stick a USB drive, log some data, get it on your USB stick, and manually get some data from there. So that's kind of nice about the HMI. And then it can also do remote view. So you can VPN into this, which is the method that I'm going to approach this and show you how I do that as I go along with the demo. And then the main ingredient here is going to be the DXM700, which means nothing to you, but it's a wireless controller / gateway. Maybe another word would be like a hub. And this is the main central gateway that's going to talk back and forth to all of our radio nodes in the field. And so when I say wireless, what I really mean by that is that it's 900 megahertz. You can see there's an antenna here. The antenna is inside this enclosure, but this enclosure is polycarb, so it doesn't really affect it. You can't really mount these in a metal enclosure. You might know that from just radio basics, but this is a radio communication, 900 megahertz or 2.4 gigahertz. So I like that because it's very reliable. It's industrial. We've been doing this for a long time with wireless, just a very consistent signal. We don't have the limitations of like Bluetooth, for example. Bluetooth is a little bit more of a limited range and not the best signal from what I've seen. This is reliable. It's also not Wi-Fi like 802.11 Internet Protocol. It's not, so you don't have to, go through like the IT department to get this working. So that's kind of neat. It's reliable. So that's what I mean by wireless. And then you get a switch. So the switch can handle some of the communications, or you can actually put this on your network if you wanted to. The wireless controller is also set up for cellular. So if you wanted to put a SIM card and go straight to the cloud, avoid IT, whatever your situation might be, that's available. This particular DXM has out terminals here in the bottom, so it has outputs that are ready configured, so you can add maybe a tower light if you wanted, or tie those into your PLC even directly if you wanted. So we'll talk a little bit more about the scalability of the solutions kit in a bit. So that's the product overview for that side. Now I've got, let me take you with me. This is my Home Depot fan. These are huge, especially in the summertime. I've got a node out there. So that's what I mean by a node. The node is going to be the rotating, the node that takes the sensor here with the on the rotating. You can see maybe, I don't know if you can, rotating asset. So this one in particular, you can see the coil in there. It's got some LED button, 2 AA lithium batteries, and a vibration sensor all in one housing. So this used to be our older photoelectric sensor housing. So it's big enough to house the batteries in here. You'll also notice it has a really cool mounting bracket. This is magnetic, so it mounts perfectly easily to my fan. So it's very strong. I know a lot of people like that. And then we've also got some different node configurations here. If you don't want the all-in-one housing, we do offer the sensor and the node separate. So you can, I don't know, just depends on your preference there. But same idea, cable. If you do want to line power, not everything has to be battery powered. You can line power this as well. So 24 volts DC. This is a different configuration. Probably going to give you a little bit more radio range. So if you, and the external antenna, so this is less range, but you know, all in one compact, very easy housing. This one is going to give you a little bit more flexibility, 2 to 6 mile line of sight range. So we have all sorts of different configurations. I would really encourage you to talk about your wireless application with your regional rep manager in the area. Another neat feature of the Solutions Kit as far as hardware goes is the ability to do current as well, to monitor the current. So we do make a specific radio, it looks kind of like this one, that will take in both vibration sensor and a current transformer. So you can get both in one node, and it is pre-programmed in the HMI in the program to take those things. So I think that's all I have for you for that. And I'll go ahead and show you the I'll go ahead and show you VPN feature. So that would be like the first advantage here that I'll, and if you can see my screen here, I've already logged in. I know it's very, as I go through program here, my screen, you can do back there. Yeah, Carter?
Hey, well, we lost your audio. Hello? For about 10 seconds. So.
Oh, okay. So what I was saying is I was logging into my VPN here. I use a thing called VNC Viewer. It seems to work pretty well. And can you hear me okay now?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, so yeah, the HMI screen I can control from here. I can, you'll see it as I'm navigating through here. So this is the main, go to the main screen. This is the main screen. As you can see, we're dividing up to 40 motors. So this one Solutions Kit can handle up to 40 rotating assets, 40 nodes, if you will. And we've divided up the pages into segments of 10 each, just to be able to fit everything. So I've got actually 2 nodes connected here to my network. So just to show you very, very quickly what this looks like, I've been trending some data here. Maybe not that one went to sleep. Let me show you this one. But either way, you get this graph done already. The display is already done for you. The limits, you get this view. You get a time scale here. You can go back to like 48 hours, or I don't know, you can test the limit on that. And then you can scale in closer. Your white line is going to be the actual data that you're looking at. Your blue line is the baseline value that's being recorded, and the yellow line and the red line are going to be your upper control, like your warning and your high alarm, based on the baseline that you have set. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. On the left-hand side, you'll see the velocity, the actual value of what your graph is displaying, and then your temperature as well. So you can actually navigate through velocity and acceleration here on these graphs and look at some different information. Okay, and then also here on your left side, left column, you'll have the icon of the motor. So the green means that you have good connection, you're within the baseline, everything's good. For example, if I were to go to my node 1, I've got some alarms on here. So something's going on. It's not liking the way I've been treating it. You know, I've been kind of slamming it right now with getting on and off the fan. But it does give me something like acute velocity warning and a chronic velocity alarm. So the difference here, acute means that it's taken 5 consecutive samples, and it's 5 samples times the sample rate of 5 minutes. That's over 25 minutes. So now I have a warning that, hey, this has not just been like a one-time, you know, slap on there, but something's happening continuously. Now my chronic, that just means it's a consecutive over 100 samples. So now I've really got something serious going on. I got to take a look at that. So normally when it comes to velocity alarms, that's going to be indicating something more like looseness, misalignment, anything like that. And some of that is documented in our quick start guide, and I will show you that. And then you'll also get certain alarms like acceleration, right? So those are the really 2 big indicators there that we really try to give you information on. And acceleration will give you more information on the impact of something like early bearing failure, for example. So it'll list that on there for you.
Hey, Paula?
Yes.
I had a question here. Like, what is the max distance between the solution kit and a vibration sensor?
Yeah, so it really can vary. If you're using like the smaller Q45 housing sensor like this one, the antenna, like, I don't know if you can see it in there, the antenna little coil, that's going to give you a little bit more limited range. So that's like, I think it's rated for 2 miles, whereas this one, line of sight with a rubber deck antenna, it's going to be 6 miles rating. But we do offer like Omni antennas and Yagi antennas. So really, if we need to get around a building or we need to get to the roof, we can do repeaters. We can do bigger gain antennas. So there's really, it's hard to answer that question because we have ways around.
That's a great answer.
Signal. So.
Yeah, and I'll give a frame of reference. We did a site.
Usually that's enough. That's yeah.
Yeah, and a little frame of reference. We did a site survey with the small node, the Q45 that you were holding up earlier, was in about a 500,000 square foot warehouse with conveyor and mezzanine, and we were able to cover the whole warehouse with that one radio with the gateway over in the corner of the building. So, but to Paula's point too, that's why we do site surveys, and we have other ways of extending that distance. So, great question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, yes. So that actually brings me to my next point here. If I go back to my main screen, let's pretend that you just ordered the solutions kit and that you're ready to plug and play. What does that mean? So let's go through that process. So let's say, for example, you buy an Apple Watch and you've got your Apple phone, and what's the first thing you have to do? Well, you have to tell the Apple Watch, hey, you're going to talk to this phone, right? This is me and you forever. So that's what we're going to do here with if I go here to settings on my HMI, we call this process binding. And so if I enter here into binding mode, I'll turn on one node at a time. And so, for example, since I've got 2 going on, I'm going to turn the binding on for number 2. By the way, you can edit these names on the nodes. Forgot to show you that, but these are editable. And let's go through the binding process just so you see how easy that is. Okay, so in this case, I'm working with this type of node. And so in this one, I've got one push button, and we do what's called the triple click method. And so I'll just triple click on this 1, 2, 3. And so you'll notice the LED configuration starts flashing at me, and now it found its gateway, and it flashes at me 4 times. And so now I know that it found the 1, and I can exit my binding mode here on my HMI. And when I do that, actually, the light will go from red to green on here, and then to yellow, telling me that now I'm running, I'm good, I found someone, we're off to a good start. So that's literally just a button press here on the HMI, and then a triple click method there. If I'm working with this particular node, the DX80 node, the triple click would be on push button number 2. So you just triple click on that. Same idea for all of our nodes. So now let's say, okay, I've bound it in my office. Now I'm ready to go mount it. I want to test the signal strength from my solutions kit to my node. So what do I do if I want to see how good of a signal? Well, we call that doing a site survey. And we try to do a site survey before you buy anything wireless, kind of like with vision. You got to test lights. You got to test it. You just don't know what's going to happen, the variables, things you need to get through, walls you need to penetrate, or buildings you need to overcome, go around or something. So we always try to do a site survey. And if you lean on your ADC rep or your distributor salesperson, we all know how to do a site survey. Everybody has hardware that it can take and test for you. Or also, if it's in a different remote area, we can get you hardware to test. So always do a site survey. So let's do one for node 1, see how we're doing there. So I've turned it on my HMI here, and you'll notice I have these green, yellow, red, and mist segments here. So I guess the approach that Banner takes here is that, and the way it was explained to me is just, if you think about it like loudness. So green means that I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, it's very loud, you're kind of yelling at me actually, I hear you perfectly. Yellow is more of using our indoor voices, where maybe we're in a coffee shop, I can hear you okay, great, just indoor voices. Red is like, I'm whispering to you, but if I were to have somebody come into the room then and start vacuuming or something, some sort of interference, then I would lose that communication signal with you. So red, we don't want to have too many red. And then missed packets means that you sent me packets and I never received them. I never heard you. So that's kind of the idea here. I have perfect line of sight here. I'm separated about 6 feet apart. So I wouldn't expect anything less than 100. But you just never know what you're gonna encounter sometimes. So it's always great to do a site survey. It's the first thing I do when I need to troubleshoot a wireless system. Let's make sure that our signal is good. And so now I can turn this off and get a good understanding of what's going on. And so a lot of people get hung up sometimes that, hey, I didn't have 100, I had like 90, or I had an 85 green and like 10 yellow. Well, that's still really, really good. What we are really accounting for here is any missed packets. So anything over like 15 missed packets, you don't want anything like that. Which also brings me to the point, you know, never use wireless for safety. You know, there's going to be a little bit of a time there that we're not going to be able to fulfill that. So, you know, expectations. And then, so now let's say we've got a great site survey, we've bound our system, now we've mounted our system, which usually I would say when it comes to an installation, that takes the longest. But now we're ready to baseline. And so what do I mean by baselining? Well, this is kind of the pudding here with our solutions kit. Was we've already provided a machine learning algorithm. And the idea is that, you know, every motor has its own personality. Every rotating asset is gonna, even if it's the same part number and it's mounted the same way or has the same like application type, it's gonna have its own quirks and personalities. So we have to learn that particular machine wherever it is that you mounted that sensor. And so when we take samples, so we do this by taking 300 samples, and then we take that data and we throw it into a machine learning algorithm, statistical model, and then we give you some upper control limits that are going to tell me, hey, this is trending towards failure. You know, this is not the usual normal behavior for this motor, so I need to go check this out. So that's the idea here. So if I go here to acid baselining, I can just turn this on. I can start baselining this node and the sensor, and it's not doing anything right now because it's just sitting on my desk. But if I were to go place this on my AC, I can start getting some data there. You'll notice it gets a 300 value here. That means it's going to start at 300 and start taking. So right now, you'll notice there's a little counter here, a timer telling you where it's at. So this whole system is going to do a sample rate of 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, it'll take a sample. So it tells you how much longer until it takes the next one. In our case, because I'm demonstrating this to you, I'm going to enable the fast sampling, which takes it to every 2 seconds. And so you'll be able to see some live data. But yeah, so a common question I do get is, you know, if my motor's not running throughout the day while I'm baselining, are those values going to be accounted for in the machine learning algorithm? And so the answer is no. It's smart enough to know that it's built into the algorithm. Okay, so that's any questions so far regarding this? Because I'm going to move on to the communication side.
We did have one question about the polycarbonate box. Oh, I'm sorry, about the antenna being in the box. So just confirming that
yes.
This particular polycarbonate box doesn't really impede the signal, right?
Correct, right. Yeah, if it were a metal enclosure, you don't want the antenna inside. And we do make a accessories kit to mount that antenna externally. Yep. So that's kind of the overview here on the settings for what all you can do with the solutions kit. Once you baseline and you finish baseline, it'll turn off automatically and it's good to go. Now, let's say, for example, that you've been running this baseline for a while, and now, for example, maybe you got a new product that you're running on your conveyor and it's heavier, and so maybe the motor might be rated for that heavier load. We just didn't take a baseline that was accounting for that. So we do give you the ability to manually go in here and adjust it. And so yeah, you can do that. So that works out. All right. So now, one thing about this is that I like is that it's scalable. So like I said earlier, you can have this system in your tool crib, and then maybe you know, at a tower light, it's pre-programmed to do that. You don't need any software. Everything that I showed you was on the HMI there that you would have to set it up. That's it. No software required. So this is really a standalone system Now, let's say that you've done this for a while now, you've had it, and now you're ready to take it to the next phase. Maybe you want to take the values, the data, put it on your PLC or system, internal system, or maybe you want to do a cloud service. So we do offer all of that. Another common question we do get is, can I get all of this information and send it to my PLC? And the answer is yes. We do Ethernet IP and we do Modbus TCP. So you can absolutely do that. Now let's say I'm having a hard time getting this on my network. I can purchase a SIM data plan from Banner, and we will allow you to do the cellular data cloud service as well. So that's the next thing that I'm going to show you. So I'll exit out of here and bring over, oops, bring this web browser here. So this is our CDS Banner Connected Data Solutions. And if you're interested, you could get this page, this landing page, to be customized for you. And so there's a work with your ADC rep as far as getting a plan. We do also a 30-day trial. So if you already have the solutions kit and you want to maybe give this a try and see how easy it is to start putting all of this stuff on the cloud, we can absolutely work with you for a 30-day trial just to check it out. So work with your ADC rep as far as, you know, pricing. We have kind of a small, medium, large approach to all of these plans, and so you can get pricing from there. It is very affordable. So we do have a demo login that I'm going to log into, and what we've done at Banner is have 4 gateways monitoring a bunch of stuff around the factory. One of them is a vibration monitoring solutions kit, which is what we're talking about today. So I do want to show you that. When you upload your script file here, the cloud data service, if you're working with the solutions kit, then you can upload this here. It'll know that you're working with the solutions guide or kit, and it will auto-generate a bunch of different dashboard items for you. So you can have that same HMI experience on the cloud data service plan. So that's really nice. I mean, it really takes out so much time from creating all of this all over again. You know, so anyway, I think that's awesome. If I were to click on here, for example, I can take a look at this dashboard. Think of the dashboard like your page, like your HMI page. I can click into it, and now all this stuff that some people, you know, want to zoom in a little bit closer and do stuff like that on the HMI, you can do it on here. So if I were to like lasso around this data, this graph, by the way, these graphs are done for you when you have a solutions kit. So that's what I mean by a dashboard item is created. So it's really cool. If I were to hover over these points, I can get a value with a timestamp. It's really nice. And then you'll also notice that you can manually set your thresholds through the cloud as well, and baseline something from the cloud. All right. So that's one dashboard that I wanted to show you. I just quickly want to show you another one, the custom map layout. You can upload the coordinates of your DXM on here and see where they're at. This one here is in Austin. And you can upload a layout of your facility and drop these dashboard items on there that way as well. So you can have you can do a lot here. Work with me, we'll get you started. You know, we'll get you started on that. There's also alarms. The alarms are really nice to set up through the cloud. It's very simple. I mean, it's like send a warning after X amount of minutes to email address this. I mean, it's very, very simple to set up. You can create your own graph. So let's say I had a node 1 Z vibration here. I wanted to monitor that one, but now I also want to compare the X axis velocity, on that. I can add that to the graph, And now I have a graph that's doing exactly the comparison that I needed. So, you know, why is this one doing something or higher values in this information downloaded, create your weekly report for your, you know, check-in with your predictive maintenance team, and, you know, have this easily done for you. And then the data page here, this is just showing the a different view of all of your motor information, so you can see it that way as well. So that's kind of what I have for you. The only other thing that I wanted to show you was our quick start guide. So when you buy a quick start guide, when you buy a solutions kit, you get this quick start guide. It does go over very, very nicely how to set all of this up just the way that I explained it to you. And it also gives you more information on what some of these issues that you might see actually mean. And it goes through it's very well documented. So if you're a controls engineer, if you've been doing this for a while, you probably can navigate this fairly easily without the help of myself. Yeah, so I think that's all I have for you. And I guess I just want to encourage you to reach out to the Automated Dynamics regional reps, talk to them, talk about your wireless application, because, you know, sometimes there's custom stuff you want to do. We've been doing this condition monitoring solution for a long time before we had the solutions kit. So, you know, we know how hard it is to get started. We also have other condition monitoring sensors. We've got temperature and humidity, pressure, ultrasonic tank level monitoring. So we really have been growing so much. Wireless is a very fast growing product segment for us. And it's fun to support for me because this is just so easy to work with, and I can get you on the cloud pretty quick as well. So I think that's all I have. I'll stick around for some questions, Carter.
Yeah, here's a couple of questions that are kind of back on the hardware and the capabilities. There was a question about the reporting rate of 5 minutes and whether or not that can be modified per asset. So I know we can't do that on the kit itself, but maybe you could speak to the, you know, kind of how the components are available as well, and customers can customize their own solution.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me bring back my PowerPoint here. I've got a good picture here of just different custom things that we can do. So what's really interesting is that the machine learning algorithm that's in the solutions kit, you can actually download that for free, complimentary by banner on the website. So you can download that, and if you know scripting and that comes natural for you, or you know, you can edit that. You know, you can take something quicker if that's what you're looking for. So, or we can take, if you're working with a custom solution, kind of like I have here on the screen. You can see this practically live, you know, every 2 seconds. So absolutely, you can do it definitely.
Oh,
just not with the solutions
so
kit.
Yeah, so we have the plug and play box that you talked about today, but all of this hardware is available to create your own, right? With your own PLC or HMI or something like that, which is kind of what we did before the solutions kit came out, right?
Right.
Right. Then there was a question too about data. Is all of the data available on Modbus? And maybe you could mention the protocols that are supported right out of the box.
Absolutely, yeah. So Modbus TCP and Ethernet IP are the 2 protocols that we support today. And so yeah, so if you want to do a little bit more advanced, you know, get all of that stuff out, we have actually in the solutions guide a Modbus Ethernet IP layout of where all the registers are located, so you can easily start pulling that information, put it on your PLC, or create some extra alarms for yourself.
Excellent. So basically, we've got the with the out-of-the-box kit here that Paula showed, we can just get some local alarming with the tower light and outputs. She just mentioned the data that's available to your PLC or SCADA system with Modbus or Ethernet IP, and then of course showed how we can also collect all this data into the cloud for remote monitoring, report generation, etc. Excellent. Well, let's see here. Please feel free to go ahead and type in any more questions that you have. We're going to stick around here for just a bit. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to check out our Vibration Solutions Kit. Again, thank you, Paula. Phenomenal job showing off the features of that. I really think the hooking it up to the virtual VPN kind of helped show some of the stuff on the screen. But everything she did on that is usually done right from the touch screen. Let's see here. Any other applications that you have? Again, we're sticking around to talk about that. Please get with whomever invited you, whether it be your outstanding distributor or your awesome ADC regional manager, if you have anything else you want to talk about with this specifically. If you have some folks that you think would be interested in this, we're doing another one at 2 o'clock today that it is not too late to sign up for. And of course, be looking for the follow-up email that'll have some product information as well as a survey. We would really like to get some feedback on how helpful this was, what we could do better, etc. So with nothing else, we'll just kind of stick around here and chit-chat, and don't want to miss out anybody's questions. Thank you all very much. If you need to take off, feel free.
I do see a couple questions there that I'm eager to answer.
Oh, excellent. I don't see them on mine, I don't think. No, go ahead. Maybe.
Yeah, so it says, I have a Modbus RTU system and a TCP master via gateway for motor variable measurements. I would like to integrate your vibration measurements into the system. Is this possible? And if yes, how? Yeah. So is that what you asked about Modbus?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I misread that. Yeah, so I just wanted to add on this. This is a Modbus. Use a vibration sensor. We have a Modbus sensor actually. So if you just wanted to use a vibration sensor, had a status sensor, you already have a system. You could also. We've got all sorts of vibration spectrum analysis. That if you know vibration really well, that's available in there as well.
So you cut out there for a few seconds with the audio. I think you were talking. I think you were talking about the actual Modbus sensor. Is that what you were just mentioning?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, my audio.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. So yeah, this has Modbus into it. So you can actually daisy chain these into up to, like, I don't know, a bunch, whatever your limitation is on Modbus RTU. We try to stick around with 6, but yeah, so you can actually do a lot with these just alone themselves.
Excellent.
And do you see the other one is a list of parameters used by the vibration, or did you ask me that?
What was it again? I might not have.
A list of parameters used by the vibration sensor. Do we have a register list? I did answer that, right?
I don't.
Maybe
you kind of mentioned the guide, but no, I didn't see that question. I might have missed that from somebody, or maybe that was sent to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and read that one again. And
do you have the Modbus register list used by the vibration sensor, and also a list of parameters used by the vibration sensor? Yeah. So for the solutions kit, absolutely, we have that in the solutions guide PDF that I'm trying to pull up here for you.
Sure.
Yeah, and so all of that is listed on there. Yes.
Yeah, maybe maximize your screen.
Here they are. So this is where all the registers are hiding. And if you download the software for the DXM, you can actually see a lot of those listed. Each of them individually is listed. But this is a good overview of how they're laid out. And yes, I will provide the links. Absolutely.
Excellent. I see where there's a question about repeaters. Are they solely used to extend the range to reach one node, or can the repeater handle multiple nodes in a distant area? And
yeah.
You want to take that, Paula?
Yeah, the repeater can be just a repeater standalone system, or like just to be a kind of just a repeater with nothing on it, but we can have a repeater handle various on there. Is that, am I getting the question?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's, if you have a repeater between the SOLUTIONSKIT box and 5 nodes that are kind of in another area, that repeater in our multi-hop system can relay all 5 nodes worth of information back to the SOLUTIONSKIT, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we would not need one repeater for every node we wanted to reach. And it might be a good time to mention, that's why we like to do the site surveys. We have 2 different types of kits. One is usually when everything's in the same building and all of the nodes can directly come back to the kit. That's our Star Network version. And then we also have a multi-hop version that allows us to use repeaters, get longer range, or to put in multiple sensors into one radio. So that's why we have a couple of different options there to match your application. Let's see here. My Modbus RTU uses daisy chain RS-45 cable and not TCP Modbus. So can that sensor device you showed support this? And how do you assign device slave address number to the node? Are you seeing that question, Paola?
Yeah, so depending on the type of setup that you have, we have multi-hop SOLUTIONSKIT, so it's just like this one, but this one handles those types of topologies where you have Modbus. And so with that topology, you can actually set the slave, the address of that Modbus device through the HMI. But most cases, you do require, we have a dongle like this one that you would plug in to this sensor and then connect to your computer over USB, and you would have to assign it with some of our software that is free. So I actually made a video on how to do that on my YouTube channel.
Oh, awesome.
Whoops.
Yeah, so in short, regardless of which Modbus flavor you have, RTU or TCP, we have a solution that you can communicate with. These are great questions.
Is there another question?
Yeah. How easy is it to change the IP address on the unit? Also, do you have a vibration sensor that also has amperage monitoring?
Great question. Yeah. So the IP address of the HMI you can set through the settings here, the settings page. I didn't really show that to you, but it's in there. And then you can actually manually change the IP address on the LCD screen of the DXM. So you don't have to access software, but you could also do it through our software as well.
Yeah, and I think the guide kind of walks you step by step on how to change the IP addresses, correct?
Yep. Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. And then on the amperage monitoring, we don't have an all-in-one sensor, but we have a node that that comes with a CT that you can clamp around to monitor current, and that same node will also accept one of our vibration/temperature sensors. So through one radio connection, you can get vibration, temperature, and current monitoring.
Current.
Does that answer your question, Brian? Oh, go ahead, Paula. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, that's my question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we can do 20 amps or 150 amps.
Yeah, and the current feature's only been added in the last 6-8 months, I believe, something like that. So that was a nice one. You deserve a drink. You've been talking a long time, doing a great job.
I don't see any other questions. Those are good questions.
Yes, they are. All right, well, she'll be sending up a follow-up. Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, if you want any hardware to test that Modbus RTU application, you can definitely get with your rep in your territory, and we can get some hardware for you to test, or I can come, wherever you seem to you are.
Site, do a site survey, etc. So yeah, whoever invited you, if you have any more questions, want to see a site survey, want to see something, just please get with them, and we will definitely accommodate. Feel free to keep typing if you're typing, but otherwise I'll say thank you so very much for coming. We'll end this session here on the count of 10. Oh, here we go. How do you get around signal transmission in areas where you do not have line of sight due to high rising buildings?
Yeah. So we sometimes we use a repeater that would usually do it for us. Repeater system.
Sometimes we get connection anyway. You know, I've been surprised at where we haven't needed repeaters, but that's why we have that multi-hop system, so we can do this exact thing. So we'd be happy to do a site survey of your application area, Augustine. Good question. All right, well, I don't mind being interrupted by another question. I'll start the closing again. And appreciate you guys very much. Hope everyone has a really, really good day. Stay safe, stay healthy. And, you know, we look forward to doing these type of things again and hope that you will join. Have a very, very good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Carter. You're a great MC.
Thank you. Master cut up. Hey, so while we're chatting here, there were some audio hiccups, which you normally don't have from your side. I kind of messaged Luis to see if that was just me or you. So did you do anything different with the audio this time?
Gosh, no, I didn't. I logged into my app on my phone, and I'm over computer audio, which usually is the best for me. Because I know if I do a phone audio, Luis knows this, it'll drop my phone call. I use T-Mobile. I should really upgrade.
Yeah. I thought it was my connection too for the, you know, Vanessa's over there connected, and then the girls are probably watching something online. So it was very stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've never experienced that during one of your presentations.
Yeah.
So it was definitely something that was not normal. That's all right. I mean, it all came through. You know, when I needed you to repeat something, we said so, and I think it got a little better after the first 10 minutes. And again, I think everything ended up being intelligible. So.
Man.
No harm done.
You're fine. Good question though.
Yeah, really good questions. Those are some application thinkers asking those questions. And you know, there used to be an old joke. How many reps does it take to change a light bulb? It's I don't know. Let me call the factory. You know, but but we handled all the questions, which is our goal, of course, to not to, of course, rely on the factory, because the factories are incredible. But hopefully we learn enough up front where we can handle questions like this.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I'm going to end it here. Again, great job, Paula. Thank you very, very much. And we got a few people hanging on that either are liking our banter or just walked away and didn't end the meeting. So either way, if you like our banter, we pride ourselves on banter. And banter not to be confused with banner. Right. All right. Talk to y'all later. Take care. I'm gonna shut it down. Bye-bye.
Thanks.